Welcome back. Today we delve into a tale called The Villain's Favorite is Me. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Your support means everything. Let's begin. Our heroine, Lumina Lansu, was a child of a cold arranged marriage. After her mother passed, her father brought in his mistress and son, May. And just like that, Lumina was cruelly cast aside, a victim of bitter karma. The Countess Lansu perished in a carriage accident, leaving Endon the sole survivor. Lumina's uncle, Joseph, then appeared to support her as the new heir. He whispered sweet lies, telling her she was the only one he could trust. His words, "Only you can do this," captivated the 12-year-old girl who desperately craved affection. Drowned in newfound wealth and attention, Lumina forgot all about Endon and the state of their household. Joseph soon lured her into the glittering world of gambling, leading to a life of addiction and haunting hallucinations. Time flew by. Lumina, now 18, was set for another arranged marriage, but Joseph paused, learning she was a legion. Legions are beings with extraordinary powers whose appearances shift when they use their gifts, but most awaken their powers at age 5. Since Lumina hadn't, Joseph deemed her a powerless legion. He planned to sell her off for a high price. Worse, her own family agreed to it, leaving her paralyzed by betrayal and fear. That's when Joseph's cruel smile appeared, revealing he'd been drugging her all this time. Lumina's world shattered. In her darkest moment of despair, a single savior emerged, her half-brother, Endon. He was bleeding, having paved her escape route to a waiting carriage. With his last breath, he whispered his relief, finally fulfilling his duty as her brother. As he faded, Lumina's power awakened. She became a healing legion, with magnificent wings unfurling from her back. But it was too late. Crushing regret filled her lifeless eyes. She absorbed Endon's wounds, but a man appeared, stating the damage was too great and the poison in her body had spread. Yet he praised her incredible healing skills. He noted she could have saved his own son. When he asked if she wished to live, fury and desperation blazed in her eyes. She yearned to save Endon and claim her revenge. Seeing this fierce will, the mysterious man offered her a second chance at life. But the price would be her heart. "Honestly, sir, you can have mine too." Lumina awoke in her 12-year-old body, a slap from her Aunt Teresa stinging her cheek. The world felt wrong, but she knew. The man sent her back. This time, she swore she would not be deceived again. For her first taste of vengeance, she slapped her aunt right back, smiling sweetly, claiming to be helping her regain her senses. I love how our girl instantly unlocked her inner baddie. She then found 10-year-old Endon, his leg in a cast from the accident. He was so mature, hiding his grief for his lost parents. Lumina vowed to get along with him. Though he might be wary now, she promised to finally act like a true sister. Her mind had been foggy when she met that mysterious man. But now she remembered. Duke Lucius von Hart, the strongest legion alive, infamous for the Legion massacre. The details remained a blur. She was certain Lucius had done something to her very heart. And now, with her healing powers freely at her command, she was determined to find him. She recalled hearing news at a gambling den. Duke Hart's son, also a legion, went berserk and died. When a legion awakens, noble or not, they must register and serve the Empire. Duke Hart was the most famous legion of all. It was then that Lumina's head pounded, and she collapsed. At that moment, her wings had appeared, revealing to Joseph that she was a legion. Back in the present, her vile relatives, including the loathsome Joseph, lingered in their mansion after the funeral. He acted charming, suggesting a trip to a dress shop. A foolish mistake. Our girl was ready to bleed his wallet dry. Lumina immediately picked the finest, most expensive dresses, leaving Joseph stunned. But his face screamed, "Endure this now, for your fortune will be mine." Little did he know he was the one being played. "You're the one caught in her trap. I adore this little, cunning swindler." After emptying Joseph's purse, Lumina snuck out to find Duke Hart, only to stumble upon a charming young boy with many piercings. Joseph's voice echoes, calling for Lumina. But a young boy steps in, shielding her with a hug. His fierce glare sends the old man fleeing in terror. He gently wraps his own cloak around her before they part ways, leaving her grateful for the mysterious boy's help. Their very first meeting, and he already protected her. Lumina then seeks out a tavern, looking for a Mr. Calvados, the Duke's secret name, but his man feigns ignorance. So she decides to play her hand. She is a healing legion, hiding her powers from the Empire. She knows the Duke needs her, but the servant remains doubtful. To prove she's no fraud, she places her hand on the legion meter. The room erupts in light and shimmering butterflies just before the meter shatters from the immense power. Astonished, the servant rushes to call the Duke. Soon, the man himself strolls in, with the aura of a superstar in his sleek sunglasses. He strides directly toward her. Her heart pounds. Does he remember their past life? But he slams the table, demanding to know where she got her cloak. The servant gently reminds the Duke that he's speaking to a mere child. The Duke calms himself, explaining that his own son has a cloak just like it. What a peculiar family. In that moment, Lumina knows he doesn't remember her. But it doesn't matter. Their goals are perfectly aligned. He needs her to save his son, and she needs his power to crush her wicked relatives. But first, the Duke demands a demonstration. Lumina quickly heals a cut on his hand. He notices the wound transfers directly to her, though she heals herself in an instant. Her power is rare, but she cannot raise the dead. He acknowledges her unique ability, but questions her motives. He coldly tells her to return home. This forces her to reveal her trump card. She can do much more than just heal wounds. She can stop his son's deadly rampages. In return for saving him, she asks for his protection until she comes of age. Her greedy relatives are already circling like vultures. She must protect her brother's rightful inheritance. Back home, she tells Endian their relatives are plotting to see who is easier to control. She vows to reject their schemes, but assures him that his own choice is his to make. This unexpected kindness leaves Endian confused. He insists that she should hate him. After all, her entire life with this family has been nothing but pain. A cruel stepmother, an indifferent father, and a mother lost in obsession who utterly neglected her. She was deceived by all of them. But Endian, he was the only light in her darkness. She tells him with all her heart that she could never hate him. He is the only true family she has. This time, she won't fight to be the family head. Instead, she will live a life of quiet restraint. No vices in this second chance. Soon, Duke Hart visits her estate, and his mere presence turns Joseph and Teresa into trembling lambs. The Duke makes a stunning declaration. He is now Lumina's legal guardian. Joseph demands an explanation, but the Duke wastes no breath on him. He simply states his admiration for Lumina's brilliance and his intention to have her marry his son. This wasn't in their agreement, but our girl just chuckles, assuming it's a clever lie to fool her relatives. I highly doubt that's a joke. As her new guardian, the Duke inspects her room and discovers she lives in the attic. Her stepmother's abuse was one thing, but the fact her relatives turned a blind eye makes their guilt shine brightly now. Teresa sputters that it's a punishment room, making Lumina laugh. How bold of her aunt to lie so openly. A direct hit. Perfect. The Duke sees how dysfunctional this family is, while Lumina is just relieved to finally have a protector. Now, it's her turn to fulfill the bargain. With only 6 years until his son's fated death, she must go to the dukedom to observe him. The Duke offers no objection. Inside the luxurious carriage, the man from the tavern warns the Duke about Lumina's suspicious nature. He plans to investigate her further, and in an instant, his form shifts, revealing his true identity. Brandon Munes, the Duke's loyal assistant, and a transforming legion. And another powerful figure appears. After the Duke's visit, Lumina secures a new room, dismissing her relatives except for 2 parasites, Joseph and Teresa. Her former tormentors, including the maid Samantha, now desperately try to get on her good side. But Lumina plays along, for she has other plans. A chilling revenge is brewing. The other maids call Samantha shameless. She was the one who placed a rat in the attic. That cruel act made Lumina cry, but her stepmother only beat her senseless for it. Samantha is furious at their hypocrisy, and a fight erupts until news arrives. Lumina has fallen from the balcony. Her injury seems minor, but Joseph sees an opening, suggesting they fire everyone to bring in his own people. Teresa immediately objects, as the current staff is loyal only to her. Our clever girl watches them argue with a hidden smile. This was all part of her plan. She timed her accident perfectly, ensuring the maids would take the fall. Just then, Demian arrives. He walks past the adults and goes straight to his sister, asking what she desires. This is her chance. She declares everyone is fired, with no severance and no recommendations. A delusional Samantha, thinking they were friends, desperately begs her for mercy. The audacity. Lumina coldly recounts every past cruelty, sending shivers down the maid's spine. Her vengeance is served, and it is devastatingly sweet. Andon's condition is grave. Using her own injury as a cover, she resolves to heal him that very night. She shudders in pain, until he suddenly grabs her hand, demanding to know what she did. He is certain he saw a brilliant light, and with the pain in his leg gone, he knows she is responsible. Cornered, our girl reveals her truth as a legion. When he doesn't believe her, she reveals her wings. A fairy. The intelligent Andon understands at once, vowing to protect her secret from the world. He also realizes her fall was a brilliant ploy to remove their aunt's spies. Demion learns her healing is fast but painful. He gives her a special medicine to ease her suffering. She recognizes it instantly, the same balm she received after a brutal beating from her stepmother. A warm smile graces her lips. All this time, her secret helper was him. This young boy was never cruel like his parents. He chose kindness, even in the darkness. Even when his mother punished Lumina for a past betrayal, Demion never joined her cruelty. That's why he secretly left her medicine when he heard her pained screams. Looking back, he feels he deserves her hatred. Today, Lumina tells Andon she's visiting the Heart Estate. She then brings up a surprising topic: attending the academy. The boy eagerly agrees, vowing obedience. But she clarifies it's a suggestion, not an order. Still, Andon is determined to go, wanting not to be a burden on his new sister. This precious child just wants to be useful. Arriving at the Heart Mansion, she's met by the Duke. Seeing her injury, the Duke sweeps her into his arms, carrying her to his office. Stunned, she deflects the awkwardness by offering him the pastries she brought. The Duke seems to enjoy the sweets, and Lumina's gift successfully lightens the air. With the mood set, she moves to her true agenda: the removal of her servants. She asks for his help in finding new staff. Then, she must heal his son, who is in a terrible state. But she feels no fear. The Duke is amazed by her calm confidence as she states that healing is her specialty. But seeing the boy, regret hits her. She knows he's the same one from that dark alley. He leans in close, demanding to know why she is there. She asks him to step back. She explains simply that she is here to assist with his treatment. His shocked reaction makes her realize the Duke never told his son about her visit. She wants to explain further, but she stops. Something is deeply unsettling about him. Her hand on his face confirms her fears. A dangerous fever burns high, a sign the berserk energy needs calming. She grabs his wrist, urging him to bed, which only leaves the boy bewildered. She simply explains, "I must treat you." As her hand meets his forehead, her ethereal wings unfurl. In an instant, the searing pain in his head vanishes, washed away by a calming light. But the effort is too much. She suddenly collapses into his arms. Elsewhere, Brandon learns Lumina is with the Duke's heir. He advises everyone to move with extreme caution. The Empire is hunting unregistered legions, and Lumina's identity must remain a secret from the court. In the middle of their talk, Karajan, the Duke's son, storms into the room. He slams his father's desk, demanding to know what's going on. When Lumina awakens, she's startled to find the Duke beside her. He informs her she's been asleep for 3 days, leaving her stunned. The Duke gives her a new rule. From now on, she is to heal no one but his son. He stares at her, finding it hard to believe she can truly save Kerrigan, whose body can't contain his own power. If she continues to help him, the boy might actually reach adulthood and control his dangerous abilities. Lumina says Kerrigan knows nothing about her, but the Duke asks about the Legion massacre 6 years ago, surprising her. She then learns Kerrigan was there that day. He says a woman with pale hair and pink eyes saved him. The description strikes Lumina's heart. It had to be her mother, Chloe. What has her mother been hiding all this time? Could her mother have been a Legion? The Duke explains that because she resembles that woman, he's sure Karen will grow to like her. He then thanks her for saving his son from the crisis. A genuine smile lights up her face as she feels the joy of helping someone. During their meal, Lumina is shocked to see the Duke light a cigarette right next to a child. However, it turns out to be just a lollipop. His late wife despised the smell of tobacco. With a stone-cold expression, he says he dispatched servants to deal with everything, making her fear he sent assassins to her home. "Don't worry, little one." The Duke only meant he sent the new servants to deal with all the dust in her house. He then declares that if she collapses every time she heals, she must stay in his mansion for her own good. Since guardianship isn't enough, he suggests a shocking solution. She should marry his son. But the talk is cut short by urgent matters. So, he assigns Olivia, a lovely maid with striking red hair, to assist her. While strolling in the garden, Lumina overhears a noble girl demanding entry, claiming to be Karajan's fiancé. Our girl is utterly floored. That's the exact position the Duke just offered to her. And this noble girl is none other than Arabelle Piaghetti Funrana. Of the 3 children in the Rembrana imperial family, only Princess Arabelle is a Legion. She is famous for it. But Olivia reveals that House Hart never officially announced any engagement. It seems to be a completely one-sided declaration from the princess herself. Arabelle spots Lumina, and upon learning she is a guest of the Duke, she commands her to approach. After Lumina introduces herself, the princess demands tea, using it as an excuse to enter the mansion. Naturally, our girl can't refuse a request from an imperial family member. Once they are seated, Arabelle fiercely interrogates Lumina about her relationship with Carrigan, forcing her to lie that they've never met. Just then, Arabelle's maid, Ava, deliberately kicks a trolley, spilling its contents all over Lumina. Meanwhile, in the training field, Carrigan is deep in a sparring match with a red-haired boy named Ash. The knights are impressed that Ash, a non-legion, can keep up. A servant reports on Arabelle, but Carrigan ignores him until he hears Lumina is with her. At the sound of her name, he immediately stops the practice to check on the situation. Back in the tea room, Lumina's clothes are soaked. She knows this was a deliberate attack by the maid. Lumina can see the maid's petty intentions, but unfortunately for her, she picked the wrong girl to bully. So, without a single moment of hesitation, she splashes the tea right back in the maid's face. With an innocent smile, she claims her hand slipped, as the princess grins at the spectacle. That's our girl. She may be sweet, but she has thorns. Karen makes his entrance. He spots Lumina's dress, ignores the princess, and asks why she resembles a drowned potato. Arabelle's face darkens. She knows Lumina lied about not meeting Karen. Lumina has no choice but to trust Karen will play along. She tells the princess that as the Duke's ward, they had a brief prior meeting. Thankfully, Karen backs up her story. He quickly changes topics, demanding why the princess invaded his home. She immediately points the finger at her maid, Ava. The maid insists it was an accident, certain the princess has her back. But in a shocking twist, the princess reveals she saw Ava kick the cart on purpose. The princess glares at Ava with pure disgust, then casts her aside. What a terrifying child. Once they're gone, Lumina thanks Karen for his help, but he coldly warns her to stay away from his family. He tells her his father is not to be trusted. The Duke didn't just kill the legions, he murdered her own mother. Impossible. There must be some mistake. Later, Lumina tells the Duke her wish, to send her brother to the academy. She proudly boasts of Endamon's genius, positive he'll be top of his class if given the chance. Her eyes gleam, a silent plea to the Duke. This is her brother's chance at freedom from his family's shadow. But she is powerless and she needs his help to do it. The Duke agrees to consider it. Overjoyed, Lumina impulsively throws her arms around him. She quickly pulls back, flustered. But the Duke doesn't seem to mind at all. He's just grateful she healed his son. He reveals Karen hasn't spoken to him since his wife, Iris, passed away. He speaks her name with such love. Lumina doubts a man like this could ever be a murderer. To brighten the mood, she offers him an iris from the garden, noting how dreary his office is. The Duke suddenly goes quiet, making her nervous. But then he says he loves it and insists they hold a wedding right now. He's so desperate to make her his daughter. The Duke explains Princess Arabelle saw her, meaning she'll be under constant watch. Since she must treat Karen, marriage is the perfect cover. It's a way to fool the imperial family. Once their deal is done, they can just divorce. And Karen? He'll gladly choose this arrangement over a dreaded engagement to the princess. Lumina feels a sting of disappointment. The Duke might seem protective, but he's really just using her as a shield. This is purely a business transaction. The plan is logical, but marrying the Duke's son? That's a completely different level and will certainly cause a huge scandal. She's about to refuse, but then she sees the divorce settlement. Her jaw drops. The Duke sweetens the deal, adding more zeros. And just like that, she's sold. Who could possibly refuse that amount? He knows her weakness. Let's be real. I'd take that deal too. Secure the bag, Queen. But the ceremony is far darker than she imagined. It's a soul-binding contract, sealed with her own blood. They enter a shadowy room. A strange magic circle on the floor looks like it's for some dark demonic ritual. The Duke explains it's a forbidden circle, powered by ancient, illegal magic. Before she can protest, Karen appears, dressed in white. He bluntly asks if she even likes him. Knowing they'll be together often, Lumina gives a bright smile and says she does. The little boy actually blushes. He then mutters, this is worse than a real marriage, since they're fated to divorce as adults. The ritual starts. The children recite their vows, dripping blood into a grail, which crystallizes into 2 crimson stones. Olivia sets the jewels, one into Lumina's necklace, the other into Karen's earring. The Duke smiles, explaining that now, if Karen is ever in need, Lumina will be the first to know. Before leaving, Ash is assigned as her personal guard. And, surprise, this cute kid is actually Olivia's son. In the carriage, a crucial memory surfaces. It's about the beautiful maid, Olivia. Olivia Munns. Not a legion, but Duke Lucius's most trusted aide. A skilled lieutenant who will one day be known as the Duke's ultimate betrayer. What? Not mother-in-law? Olivia reports to the Duke, but she's utterly captivated. She can't stop gushing about how lovely our girl is. The Duke slams his desk, shocked by this change. Olivia's expression turns serious. She found nothing suspicious, then turns the tables on him. She sees he's grown soft too. He even kept Lumina's flower. He sternly warns Olivia to address his daughter-in-law with proper respect. Lumina may lack a loving father, but she gained a powerful father-in-law who takes action. Duke Lucius relies on two trusted aides, Olivia, his public face, and Brandon, his shadow operative. A powerful, married duo. Lumina returns to a spotless estate, greeted by friendly new staff, led by the butler, Harold. First on her list, confronting her aunt and uncle, she demands they vacate her home immediately. They feign concern about leaving her alone. But what do we call meddling disguised as help? Exactly. It's interference. They are told to pack their bags. Lumina announces Endemon will attend the academy while she marries into the Von Hart family, shocking them both. She'll manage the family affairs under the Duke's guidance. In short, they are no longer needed. Teresa sneers, claiming Lumina will fail on her own. Our girl smirks, vowing to live better than anyone. She tells them to just sit back and watch. Slay Queen. Goodbye, losers. On exam day, Big Sis is more nervous than the actual test taker. But the mood shifts when she reveals her sudden marriage. A look of pure horror crosses Endemon's face, but his exam is called before he can ask questions. Darling, are you trying to sabotage his test? The poor boy can't possibly focus now. Since the exam will take a while, Lumina decides to explore the city with Ash. But her true goal is to understand this future swordmaster. She's curious about his family's history as traitors. Strangely, Ash himself faced no consequences for his family's treason. Meanwhile, Ash has his own orders from the Duke. Watch Lumina closely and report everything. During their walk, Lumina feels eyes on them. People keep glancing from their newspapers to her. She grabs a paper to see what the fuss is about. It's her face, headlining her marriage to Karajan. In a dark alley, a reporter snaps photos of Lumina, hoping for a massive payout. I mean, they have sunglasses, so a camera with a screen isn't a stretch, right? This is a fantasy world, after all. Ash spots the paparazzo and snatches the camera, handing it to Lumina. But our girl's anger flares when the man calls Ash a Kelton, a vile slur for his mixed heritage. Lumina recognizes the reporter, Jack, an intern for now. But she knows his future. He becomes the most corrupt figure in the media industry. She knows breaking his camera won't stop him. He'll just continue his wicked ways with a new one. But she won't forgive the insult to Ash. She lets Ash handle Jack until he's satisfied. But when he seems unaffected by the blows, she steps in herself, landing a critical hit right where it counts. I couldn't be more proud of you, honey. Afterwards, Lumina shops for Endemon, also buying Ash a dessert he'd been eyeing, a silent, sweet gift. The exam ends, and the very first thing Endemon asks about is Lumina's marriage. He's clearly been dying for the details. In the carriage, Lumina reveals she married Karajan. Endemon fires off questions. Are they dating? Did he confess his love? Did he promise her his heart? Big Sis has no choice but to feign being deeply in love. If it's true love, Endemon feels helpless. But he warns her that a man's true nature takes time to surface. Spoken like a wise old man, little brother is in full protective mode. So cute. Back home, Endemon unwraps his gifts, looking embarrassed by the teddy bear she bought him. She tells him to take it to the dorms. For any time he might feel lonely, he can just press its body to hear a sweet, I love you. The noble circles are abuzz, especially after the arrest of those dabbling in dark magic. It seems our little girl is somehow connected to this darkness. She gave Jack exclusive info on Carmela, a singer having an affair with a noble. Jack must have tailed Carmela, discovering her lover's dark magic research. In her past life, a good reporter covered this, but the high-ranking nobles involved destroyed him. So Lumina gave the scoop to Jack, letting him face the consequences. A perfect plan. Meanwhile, Endon's worry for Lumina grows, and he vows that if she's ever hurt, he will be there to defend her. To fulfill that promise, he knows he needs power to defy House Hart, and wishes to repay her as a truly helpful brother. He's far too mature for a 10-year-old. My heart just wants to give them both a comforting hug. Even with all the chaos, Endon passed the Nazur Academy exam, heading to school with his teddy bear in his bag. 2 weeks pass, and Lumina visits the Hart estate, shocking the Duke by calling him father. The Duke is puzzled at first, but seems to enjoy it, carrying Lumina to the new room he prepared for her. It's so lavish and grand that our girl instantly refuses it. She knows the danger of such wealth. She's terrified that if she accepts this life, she will become greedy and repeat her past failures. So she declares she wants an attic instead. This leads the Duke to explain that with all eyes on them, it is best they stay together, and putting his daughter-in-law in an attic would tarnish his name. Since the Duke is firm, Lumina decides to accept and enjoy what she has been given. While they share tea, Olivia reveals she is not a maid, but the Duke's personal assistant. Our girl expresses that it doesn't matter because she treasures Olivia for who she is. Lumina wonders why this dear woman who seems so kind will one day betray the Duke. Ash offered no clues. She's about to ask Olivia directly, but gets distracted when Olivia offers her an opera ticket as an apology. Duke, Hart, and Lumina step out of the carriage to watch the opera together, and immediately, all eyes are drawn to them. Lumina saw Olivia's plan instantly. This was a clever move to shape public opinion on her sudden marriage. An opera date with her father-in-law proves to everyone just how close they are. Lumina can't help but admire Olivia's skill. Then, she learns the opera is based on the Duke's own love story. As she voices her curiosity, the Duke takes off his sunglasses, revealing his piercing red eyes. He confesses that everyone, even his own legions, avoids him because of his eyes. But Iris was the only one who embraced him, and he speaks of her with a gentle smile. I can't even joke about her place being taken. This man is still so in love with his wife. When Lumina notices Olivia leaving the room, she decides to follow. She says she is just going to the restroom. But as Lumina approaches Olivia, she feels something is terribly wrong. Lumina is certain this isn't Olivia, and she calls her out, demanding to know her true identity. She is confused, but she knows for sure that this woman is not Olivia. At that, Olivia chuckles before her appearance shifts into that of the handsome man, Brandon. Lumina is even more shaken to realize Brandon is Olivia's husband and the father of Ash. Brandon then proves he is a master of disguise, shifting from an opera actor to a terrifying hooded old man. Lumina wonders who the old man is, as Brandon mentally notes that she doesn't recognize the doctor's face. All at once, his arms begin to melt into a black substance. She's desperate to call the Duke, but he stops her, revealing he's under a dark spell. The spell has one cruel condition. He will die if the Duke ever discovers his state, a fact the doctor made painfully clear. A few days prior, Brandon was on a mission when a man in a hood appeared before him. The next thing he knew, he was in a dark chamber reeking of chemicals and blood. Brandon looked up and saw the doctor. The Duke had been desperately hunting down. The doctor claimed to have poisoned him, demanding the Duke's ancient magic research for the antidote. Without the documents in a week, his life was forfeit. Brandon couldn't bear to tell Olivia what had happened. But Lumina knew Olivia's sharp instincts would soon uncover the truth. The puzzle pieces clicked. Olivia betrayed the Duke to save her husband's life. Lumina collected a sample of the substance, declaring she might find the antidote. But a solution like this would not come cheap. They pretended to be shopping for the Duke's gift. In truth, they were headed for the slums, to find the one person who could save Brandon. A man once called a genius of herbal medicine, but it was revealed his work was stolen from his stepdaughter, Erica. Tragically, the girl died from his abuse, her true genius never recognized. As they walked through the door, Lumina saw the violence and shielded Erica, while Brandon handled the abuser. After that, Lumina praised Erica's legendary remedies, baffling Brandon, who had never heard of her. She showed Erica the black slime, explaining it was a cursed man, Mr. Brandon. Lumina gave her 3 days, succeed, and a brilliant future would be hers. They had no time for a gift. But our girl had the perfect idea, her own drawing. To Lucius, it might have looked like a monster. But hearing it was him, he treasured it, asking for more. A simple request she gladly accepted. Such cuties. Brandon disguised himself as a maid, thanking Lumina for letting him visit family. Nearby, Ash listened intently as Lumina wished to go with Hannah to meet them. Stepping off the train, Brandon quickly revealed his identity to Ash, telling him to play along. The person they were meeting was supposedly Hannah's sister. In reality, it was Erica. With the Duke's eyes watching, the act had to be perfect. To talk business, Lumina sent Ash to buy a famous egg tart. He agreed, trusting his father to protect her. With Ash gone, Erica revealed she had finished the cure. Lumina was so grateful, knowing Erica must have worked tirelessly for days. But the genius girl said it was the most joyful 3 days of her life. Erica also shared that her mother finally left her abusive stepfather. Lumina was overjoyed, promising Erica a lifetime of freedom to research as she pleased. Lumina asked only that when Erica becomes famous, her requests get top priority. For Erica, it was a vow. She would gladly repay Lumina's kindness. Our girl had just gained a powerful ally. Her alimony would provide a good life, but the future remained uncertain. For her revenge, she needed Brandon's skills and power on her side. So, she used the cure as a bargaining chip. If he lives, he works for her. This was no threat. She wanted a bond built on trust, for him to be her double agent. Don't worry, sir. Our girl would never betray the Duke. She just needs a capable ally to move freely. Brandon questioned how she knew the Duke's alias, Calvados, but another wave of pain hit him. Lumina urged him to take the cure before Ash returned. Live and work for her, or die with his secret. With a gambler's grin, she cheered, "YOLO!" telling him to have faith. When Ash returned with tarts, Brandon was huddled in a corner. Then he rose with a smile. The medicine had worked. Relief washed over them, while Ash admired Lumina's kind gesture. On the way home, her necklace glowed, pulling her to an alley where Karajan stood, wounded in the rain. The rain seemed to trigger a terrible memory of the day his mother died right before his eyes. He's suddenly lost in a panic. Then, like a scene from a drama, Lumina gently shields him with her yellow umbrella. The simple act stills his chaotic heart, and he murmurs that she looks just like the person who saved him during the Legion massacre. But his tragic past must wait. Right now, Lumina is only focused on his raging fever. Having eaten and slept properly, she's confident she has the strength to heal him. But healing Karajan sends a sharp pain through her heart. The wounds transfer to her, and she collapses. Rain always made the Duke hide and Karajan flee. But this time, the boy returns, drenched, carrying an unconscious Lumina. This marks the first time he has ever returned home willingly. He can't understand why she, who takes on his pain, would marry him. He then hears her whisper a name in her sleep, Endon. The name startles him. Could this be the one she truly loves? A bitter feeling washes over him. Oh, you poor, silly boy. That's just her brother. Then, something impossible happens. Lumina starts to cough up delicate flower petals. Lumina awakens that evening to Karajan's grumbling. She quickly clarifies this isn't normal, he's a special case. She boldly asks if he was worried, sharing that no one has ever placed a wet towel on her head before. She offers him a heartfelt thank you. A deep blush spreads across his face. He changes the subject, showing her the white flower, leaving her utterly confused. It wasn't just one flower, but several. Alarmed by this strange event, he was about to call for a doctor, but she persuades him to rest for the night, inviting him to sleep in their shared room. But his mind isn't at peace. He bluntly asks her about Endon, questioning if she likes this man. To his utter shock, a brilliant smile lights up her face as she happily confirms it. He wonders if her family loves so freely. But when she says Endon is her little brother, he's flooded with relief and embarrassment. He quickly tucks her into bed, turning away to hide his burning cheeks. Of course, our girl sees it all. The day ends with all misunderstandings cleared, which is so satisfying. Karajan wakes first, completely stunned. For the first time since his mother's death, he actually slept through the night. He glances at her sleeping face, blushing as he calls her troublesome. The doctor soon confirms Lumina is fully healed. Once they're alone, Lumina opens a window, suggesting they need fresh air, even after the rain. She calls him over to see a beautiful rainbow, explaining that even behind the darkest clouds, the sky remains blue. Darkness, she implies, is only a temporary moment. With a warm smile, she asks if he finds the sky beautiful, but his eyes are only on her as he replies, "Yes, it is." What a breathtaking moment. And a tiny detail emerges. His red earrings are shaped like butterflies. Meanwhile, Brandon reports to the Duke, who appears tormented by the relentless rain. Brandon has confirmed Lumina has no ties to the doctor, but a healing legion is so incredibly rare. He's worried the doctor will try something insane again, just like he did 6 years ago. That doctor, completely obsessed with legions, abducted Karajan along with his mother Iris, who had no powers. It seems the doctor is directly connected to her death. But for now, that's all we know. That evening, Hannah enters the children's room, announcing it is time to change Lumina's clothes. Karajan immediately exits, allowing Hannah to reveal his true form, Brandon. A deadly curse the doctor placed on Brandon expires tonight. At midnight, they will discover if the medicine worked or if he will perish. While they wait, Brandon speaks of his family, calling Ash his second treasure after his wife, Olivia. He reveals that Olivia confessed and proposed to him first, shocking him. Who could ever love a man without a face? He fondly recalls how radiant Olivia looked and how he felt like the luckiest man alive. Lumina asks why he isn't with his wife, but the poor man is too afraid to let her witness his death if the curse wins. The men of this house truly love with all their hearts. As the clock strikes 12, Lumina beams at a stunned Brandon, congratulating him. A relieved smile breaks across Brandon's face. And though he lost their bet and must be her aide, he vows his ultimate loyalty is to the Duke, the man who saved him from that very same doctor as a child. He gives her a chilling warning. That doctor is a madman, one who sees people as mere lab rats. He then shapeshifts into the doctor's face. If you see this man, he warns, your only option is to flee. Meanwhile, within the Imperial Palace, Arabelle seeks out her second brother, Elliot. He He bears a striking resemblance to a young doctor. Wait, is that just a coincidence? Arabelle fumes about Karajan marrying some nobody, and Elliot pities her, thinking her heart is broken. But her reaction is pure confusion. She's not sad, she's insulted that he married someone other than her, a princess. Princess Arabelle is a spoiled royal. Whatever she desires, be it a jewel or a person, she takes. And in her mind, Karajan was already hers. But with the Emperor's blessing, her hands are tied. She scoffs at her father's fear of Duke Hart, who even scolded her for meddling in the Duke's affairs. Elliot reminds her of a chilling truth. The Duke is a man who killed his own father and wife. He is a monster devoid of emotion, which is why the Emperor is so cautious around him. Elliot asks if she spoke to their older brother, Marcel, but his simple advice to find another man only fueled her rage. This is precisely why she prefers Elliot. He's the one brother who will always help her scheme. And just as she hoped, he promises they will find a way to deal with her Karajan problem. Elliot is called the Flawed Prince. A past incident left him with a limp, causing the court to shun him. Even his own mother pushed him away, and his status as a prince plummeted after that day. But to Arabelle, he is the greatest brother alive. Lately, Karajan is changing. He stopped running away and now brings her Lumina flowers for no reason at all. He trails her during walks, just like a stray cat. If she gets close, he flees. If ignored, he draws near. It's unbearably cute. Lumina shows Karajan a trick, sipping the nectar from a flower, which astonishes him. She offers one to his lips, making him blush. But this just makes him wonder if her family was so poor that she had to eat flowers. Nobles don't eat flowers, but she explains that she often did when she was younger. The truth held a painful memory. Her stepmother would invent reasons to punish her for the smallest things. Some days, she was starved entirely. She endured it until a sweet scent drifted from the bushes one night. Desperate hunger is a powerful thing. She crept outside, and the nectar's sweetness brought tears to her eyes. But tasting it again now, she realizes it was never as sweet as her memory made it seem. Our poor girl. It's no wonder, with so little love in her past, she was so easily swayed. Lumina knows Karajan plans to leave the manor. He hates his father, a feeling she understands all too well. There might be a misunderstanding with the Duke, but she knows that hatred is still hatred. Besides, mending their broken bond was never part of her contract. She does warn him not to get beaten up again. Then, with a bright smile, she makes him a promise. If he ever feels alone, just think of her, and she'll come running. A promise far sweeter than any flower. Day by day, Lumina and Karajan have been growing closer. Today, he brings up their divorce. He wants to separate now, not as adults, insisting he will handle the legalities. But she knows the score. An early divorce means a breach of contract and, more importantly, no alimony. So she vehemently refuses. He insists it's for her safety, convinced his father is going to kill her. With visions of money dancing in her head, she flashes him her most brilliant smile. She confesses that she truly likes him, but he's still wary, asking what there is to like. She says she likes his face, making a heart sign and using cheesy lines like, "My world became brighter after meeting you." He quickly cuts her off as a maid arrives. It's a letter from Princess Arabelle, an invitation to a tea party. Lumina sees right through it. This isn't a tea party, it's a declaration of war. But our girl is no pushover. Brandon agrees, forbidding her from wearing any of her own simple dresses. He declares this tea party is a battlefield, and she must be armed for absolute victory. As the Duke's left-hand man, Brandon asserts that Lumina now carries the honor of both the Hart and Munn families. She deserves the absolute best. Once starved for affection, she now has two fathers. This makes Lumina's heart race with a strange, ticklish feeling. That, my dear, is parental love. Her thoughts are cut short as Brandon explains the flower she coughed up last time. He gave one to Erica, hoping for a miracle beyond what normal doctors could offer. His proactiveness amazes her. She's relieved he's on her side. She asks him to deliver a note on a new medicine, which captures his full attention. But that comes later. She has a more immediate task for him. She needs a secret identity, a name that won't attract attention even if she becomes incredibly rich. He suggests she simply ask the Duke for help with funds, as he's a master of such things. But she refuses. She must earn her own money, with no ties to the Lansu or Hart families, since their fortunes belong to Endemon. And so, with a new name, she can finally fund Erica's research herself. The request is complex, but Brandon assures her it's possible, earning him the promise of a handsome reward. Afterwards, Dad number 2 spends 2 days shopping for dresses with her, preparing her for the upcoming battle. When she gets home, Karajan begs her to refuse the invitation. Now a Hart, no one would dare criticize her. That's exactly why she must go. As Lumina Lansu, she would have refused, but as Lumina von Hart, she is confident. This makes Karajan wonder again about her poor family. She explains her parents kept her isolated, without any friends. But then she asks a sharp question. Do you really need to know? Ouch, a direct hit. Thankfully, a maid interrupts the tense air. But Karajan now understands a line has been drawn between them. Ever since their wedding, none of her family has visited. He admits he ignored it, but now he's determined to understand her. These two will surely break down each other's walls. On the day of the tea party, Brandon is thrilled by how stunning Lumina looks. I couldn't agree more. Ash is her guard for the day, but upon arriving, the venue is empty. Just as she predicted part of the princess's game, she asks Ash for his guess on the princess's arrival time. His innocent answer surprises her. He is nothing like his cunning parents. Music. To pass the time, they make a bet. Ash wagers 10 minutes. Lumina wagers a full hour. To make it more interesting, our little gambler suggests a stake of 10 gold coins. Ash agrees, but she makes him promise this is their only bet. Exactly 1 hour later, the princess and her entourage appear. She expects to see Lumina fuming, but instead our girl is beaming with a brilliant smile. Arabelle is furious her plan failed. Lumina is just happy she won the bet against Ash. Classic rage baiting. The battle starts as the ladies introduce themselves, pointedly calling her Lumina Lansu since she wears no ring. This prompts Lumina to remind them her marriage has the Emperor's full approval. Do you object to the Emperor's will? She asks. The terrified ladies quickly correct themselves. Round 1 is a clear victory. For round 2, they make Lumina try the tea first. She knows it's not poisoned, not at a royal party. It's just a childish trick, an incredibly bitter tea. After a sip, Lumina smiles, declaring her love for Benamoth tea. She even prepares a new pot for them, leaving the other girls speechless. She knows this because her stepmother forced her into lessons, only to beat her afterwards. Making tea is now second nature. Arabelle finally makes her move, asking Lumina to be her lady-in-waiting, a plot to separate her from Karajan. And the idea came from Elliot. Lumina must refuse at all costs. She informs Arabelle that the Duke has given her a vital task, so she must regretfully decline. When asked what it is, Lumina boldly claims she must paint a portrait. The girls recall rumors of Duke Hart appraising art worth 500 million gold. A wave of unease hits Lumina. Could they be talking about the drawing she gave him? But the princess demands to see the masterpiece she was promised, so Lumina unveils a crude stick figure in a pink dress. The princess's shock is priceless, utterly baffled how this art could cost millions. Yet one thing is undeniable. The Duke's favor is firmly behind Lumina. And so the princess makes a tactical retreat. The white flag is raised. Lumina has won this battle. But as a parting shot, Arabelle suggests a stroll through the infamous Emerald Garden. Though her instincts scream trap, Lumina ventures out, leading to a fateful encounter with Elliot. And that is where we pause today's chapter. Don't forget to smash that like button and comment below if you're hyped for what comes next. Make sure to subscribe and ring that bell for updates. We'll catch you in the next one.